What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Mostly Wrong Opinions. I am Tyrone. That is Devin. Wait! Before you jump into the Marvel Universe and then you go into somewhere else at the end of this, and we're not going to talk about it until the end. Hit that subscribe button right there. All right? We really do appreciate it. Now, what we're about to talk about is Miss Marvel, the complete first season. Let's get into it.
Now!
There's a clip of me on my channel, YURPNATIONREACTIONS. And I said, I don't know if this is for me. It looks like this is aimed at a different demographic. I go back in time and because I'm dumb, okay?
I was trying to slap you on this show. Like, yo, what you talking about?
This show is amazing. I'm just gonna say, people, this is my favorite and by far the best Marvel series that they came up with for TV. Behind it shortly is Loki with the things that they did in there, but that hasn't even came to fruition yet in the Marvel
and we're going to talk
universe.
about why in a second.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. This is Marvel's best TV show so far. And I think the reason why is because a lot of these other shows don't have like the heart that Miss Marvel had. Miss Marvel had a lot of like heart. I cared about Kamala Khan. And more than that, not only did I care like about her well-being, but I cared about like the relationship that she had with her friends and most importantly with her parents, right?
Yes.
And I thought it was great that unlike say Spider-Man, her family stuck with her the whole time. She didn't, none of her family members died, and this wasn't some sort of big motivation for her to go out and be a hero. No one was like, I hate heroes and I hate you for being a hero. No, they're like, great, Kamala, we support you. This is awesome. And her mom sewed up a whole new costume for her. I thought that was really cute. I love that. I thought it was great.
Man.
Like she's literally wearing her mother's costume, and they kind of had a really interesting retcon this last episode of her name, Miss Marvel, where she got the name from
her father.
I was like, whoa, that's so great. I felt moved. We talked about before how Marvel seems to be like on a little bit of a slide here, but to see Miss Marvel, it really did to me, I think, freshen things up a bit, and it made me feel really hopeful and positive about what's next for this character.
Yeah, I gotta talk about it. There was this one scene in this last episode with Kamran, who was I guess misunderstood teen that had the powers that was given to him by his mother at the last minute. He was
when you say Cameron, I'm gonna put in like a little clip of Cameron the rapper.
I know.
Hey mom, what's up? Let's slide. All right, and we gonna get it.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
But that's exactly what I had in my mind. Pink fucking furry.
yeah, that's right.
But it was a scene where he was getting attacked, and I don't know how they shot this thing, but he fired at the freaking guy, at the dude, and then the camera went under the car, and then it went into like freaking Born Identity motion capture right behind him. I was like, ooh, that camera movement is tight. I was like, yo, y'all doing some stuff, man. Y'all doing some stuff. But sticking to the story here, I enjoyed how they incorporated the culture. I enjoyed how they incorporated the reactions from other characters in this show, like the woman that was the code person for the damage control people, how she was busting in there and being an asshole, and how her reaction was to it. May I say?
Yeah.
So,
that's right.
So,
and I like how they told you early on, like, no shoes in the mosque. And then this episode, she comes in and they clearly make sure to frame it so you can see her shoes stomping all over the mosque, and you're just like, this. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt upset. I was like, yo, take your shoes off, show some respect here, you know? But so you're right, I did. And you know, what's interesting about Miss Marvel, like I said, it had a lot of heart, But this was the first Marvel thing I've seen in a while, probably this whole phase, where the characters felt like humans. Do you know what I mean? Instead of like props or punchlines, they felt like humans. It was just about a girl and her family, and she's in a very extreme situation, and it's how does she deal with this? How does her family deal with this? Then they added in one extra thing, we talk about the culture. How does the community deal with this? Because eventually the community rallies around Kamala.
How they rallied around her reminded me of Miles Morales at the end of the game. When they was like, "This is our Spider-Man."
That's right.
It's like our superhero, and I'm not saying like our. I mean, it is depicted as a person of color. Their superhero type of thing because it's their neighborhood that they're protecting and things like that, and their people. Stan Lee always said that anybody can wear the mask.
Exactly, and it's something that like. Again, I think I'm pretty vocal about how much I did not like the last Spider-Man film, but I think Spider-Man has lost the friendly neighborhood part. You know what I mean? And Kamala was a friendly neighborhood superhero, friendly neighborhood Miss Marvel, and you can see how, at least I saw, how useful and how interesting that is to incorporate like her whole neighborhood, and it felt like they were like using the culture. Oh, that was great.
They threw a little nugget in here when they went back in time and showed about the partition thing that happened, and they had a shot down, and it was the 10 rings. They're not putting in stuff to where it seems like if you didn't see this, you're not gonna get this, and it's not going. It's not gonna go on to another movie to where like you have to see this other movie to understand the plot of this particular movie or this particular IP. They just said, "Hey man, if you saw Shang-Chi or if you saw any other like Iron Man thing, the 10 rings right here."
yeah. And of course, the thing that everyone's talking about in Miss Marvel is the ending where
spoilers.
Oh yeah, deep spoilers, extreme spoilers.
Get away from here and come back.
Or not. It's not that important. But I know some people will be like really sensitive about it. But they're like, oh, your powers seem to originate not just from the bangle, but from like you yourself. It seems like you've got some sort of a mutation. And then it goes. Yeah, that's right.
But her main thing that she said to that, she's like, it'll just be another label. Who cares?
Yeah, she's like, oh, okay. Which is the appropriate response. She's like, oh. It's like, yeah, that's how you would respond to that.
It's not like you'd be like, was great. What? I'm a mutant? Exactly. No way.
Exactly.
I know what that is in the Marvel universe. She don't know what that is.
Know. So she's just like, okay, great. And I thought that was cool. The movie didn't stop and give like a big close up. A mutant. She's like, what? And she didn't do all this, she's just like, yeah, exactly. That's right. But what's interesting about her, yeah, that's right. What's interesting about her being a mutant is Kamala Khan was invented after the MCU was created. Now, at that time, Marvel did not have the rights to mutants or the X-Men or anything like that. So in order to try explain away her powers, but not say she was a mutant, they said that Kamala Khan was an Inhuman. But now that Marvel does have the rights, they seem to have fixed their weird little wrinkle there and made her a mutant, which I think is pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. You mentioned earlier about how we haven't really gotten any consequences or anything from Loki or stuff like that. We haven't gotten that stuff yet. A lot of these shows and movies were filmed at the same time, like within like days, weeks of one another.
In spite of all of these shows being released over a year and a half, they were all made within the same 7 months. And I put them into a timeline generator and it just really gives you a sense of scale. Hang on, let me see if I can get closer. So here's that first overlap I was talking about. And then here's that second one. Look at that. And then I even included the release schedules in there too, so you really see how simultaneous all of this is happening. So when promoting Miss Marvel, the cast would talk about Iman Vellani watching WandaVision while they were filming the show. And just to put that in perspective, the first Disney Plus Marvel show is coming out while they are already filming their latest one. What you have here is essentially an entire phase filmed in bulk. You have chapters to a story that are released chronologically, yet written simultaneously. We end up with an entire phase of shows that don't have the breadth or the opportunity to look at each other's work. When you realize that these shows, the shows we haven't even seen yet, were mass-produced and have been finished for a year at least. So on one hand, I don't think we're going to see any radical story structural change within this phase. You know, I don't think that She-Hulk is going to be much different structurally. I mean, it was filmed before Moon Knight.
Well, I'm sure it's very convenient for Marvel, right? I'm sure that really helps them crank out the money. It really does explain why none of these movies seem to be linking up as nice and neat as the other previous MCU outings did. But I feel like Marvel's structure is a little funky right now because we keep talking like, what's going on with Marvel? How come they're not firing like they used to? Part of Marvel, some of Marvel's issues arise from this like crazy film schedule, which they film everything simultaneously.
Which you can probably chalk it up to COVID and all that stuff that happens.
Exactly. But that being said, Miss Marvel by itself, I think, was great. I really enjoyed it.
Now, another spoiler alert for you. And Kamala Khan just flops on the bed, and in her bangle, it starts glowing. Then all of a sudden she gets up and she looks at it and she disappears to this warp thing into her closet. The closet breaks, and who pops up? Freaking Captain Marvel. Okay,
right.
With an awesome
in a new
suit.
outfit.
Well, she looked good too, but that is Miss Marvel going into some other freaking planetary thing, and then Captain Marvel coming in here because she looked around and she's like, where the hell am I?
And it's kind of funny because Miss Marvel's room is full of Captain Marvel shit.
Exactly.
And she's like,
what the hell? Yeah. And then it said Miss Marvel return in the Marvels. That movie will be directed by the woman who directed Candyman. So,
Nia DaCosta.
Nia DaCosta. Let's get into the rating of season 1 of Miss Marvel. I'm going to give Miss Marvel, to be honest with you, I'm giving it an A.
Wow. I'm going to give this one a B+. I loved Miss Marvel. I thought it was great. I think it's the best thing that Marvel has produced this year so far. I thought it was really great.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot. They've been producing a lot of shit, man. So, I thought it was great. And the comedy, while it's there, in Thor, you're laughing. You're not laughing with Thor. You're laughing at Thor. And in Miss Marvel, you're laughing with Miss Marvel. And when she's got an emotional thing with her parents or with her family or grandmother, I can feel myself like getting emotional about it. Yeah. So I just thought it was great. It's a really, really good, rock solid show.
You feel with Miss Marvel like you were supposed to feel for Natalie Portman's character with her cancer thing that happened in there. When she's breaking the sink, she's upset, and she turns around and sees Valkyrie, and they say, "Grenade, let's get it."
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And you know what would happen? Yeah, I was thinking about this too. Now that I've had some time to really think about Thor. If, let's say for some reason you really did connect with Natalie Portman and her plight with her cancer, the movie undercuts it by having her, after she dies, or having her just show up in Valhalla. So it's like, so she's not dead, or so it's like it really undercuts it. The whole journey, all that drama gets undone because, well, hey, she could still show up later. So it's like, yeah. But anyway, this isn't a Thor review.
America Chavez needs to die.
We've had a lot of problems this year with Marvel. No, I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Well,
but Miss Marvel, I thought was great.
I gave this show an A. Devin gave this show a B+. So get over to your friend's Disney Plus channel and go ahead and borrow it and don't give it back. And watch this show. Watch Miss Marvel.
If you save one life, you saved the world.
Thank you for clicking on this video. We really do appreciate you. Our subscriber count has been going up. People have been loving us and laughing with us and not laughing at us like Thor. So go ahead and click that subscribe button right there. And if you liked our review, please give us a thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. Or you can give us a thumbs down. Whatever it is your opinion. But just remember one thing. It is mostly wrong. Bye.
Bye.